I'm looking at me. It is what it is. We're fine. We're fine. We're writing my manuscript. 1, 2, 3. Am I really gonna count this right now? No. Welcome. Yep, this is how I brainstormed and outlined my first novel that I'm currently writing in my manuscript, including all the word counts of all of my templates that I filled out and the total of where I am at currently. So I'm going to kind of go over all of the documents that I use, let you know where to find them, and that's going to give you a kind of idea of how I got started and to show you just how easy it is. Also, welcome to the cottage, referenced in another video, which I'll link above apparently, because I can do that. Wow, I'm looking at me. Got it. Okay, so we started out when I first discovered writing as a potential hobby. I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube. I discovered Abby Emmons. Highly recommend that you look into Abby Emmons' YouTube channel because it's really informative. She has some amazing templates, a lot of free resources that you can use. They'll be linked in the description box below because I use them. That's the truth. I didn't come up with these by myself. I just had an idea and then I found Abby Emmons. She gave me the unbearable confidence to believe that I could write a book, and now here we are. Okay, so basically how things started. So I had all the templates from Abby Emmons, and those templates can be quite overwhelming just because of how many there are. And I know that I've scared a friend from writing because I sent all of the documents. She was like, oh, I was thinking about creative writing as an outlet. And I was like, absolutely, no problem. Here are a whole whack load of templates that you might like. And then she never talked to me about it again. Hey girl. So those templates can be a little bit overwhelming if you don't have something that you want to put in them. And so what I did was I just started a document that was intentionally messy. I call it my bare bones document. It's everything that I could possibly think of. It's messy. It's to be plugged into templates later. Because what would happen, especially early on in the writing process, was that I would get a lot of ideas where I thought that they fit according to the templates and according to how to write a book. I couldn't just naturally figure out where that would be. Does that make me stupid? No. Something in my case was that the interactions and the scenes and the development of the love story in my book was something that came really early on. So a big majority of the document at the beginning were those things, and then later on things like the magic system, the backstories of other characters, their motivations, why they're in the story, why they matter, all those things came and I just wrote them down whenever that inspiration hit me. So brain dump, bare bones, messy writing document was how things started for me. So this is the messy document, and you can see there's a lot of green on the page. Essentially, those are scenes or information that I've written that has transferred over to another document. Let's see here. Okay, wow. Everything in this document has been transferred over. I expected there to be some things that were left out, but I highlighted the things that I used and I put them into other places in the templates where I decided that they fit. So that was my messy plot points, bare bones, brain dump document. It's 17 pages, single spaced, but there are bullet points, word count, 7,600, nothing crazy. And then as mentioned in the video with Jen on how we became happy authors, we would see each other once a week or just call each other once a week, talk about our books, just kind of get into the zone together. And from there we would start writing. And that's typically when I would start writing into my bare bones document. In this document, there's absolutely no judgment. Every single idea is worth it. It's worth exploring. There's zero judgment at all. There's definitely some sections in there where I was like, While I was writing the messy document, the bare bones, basic ideas, I was also working on character profiles because it's fun. You can just scroll on Pinterest, get inspiration for what characters might look like, even locations. I added some things into the character profile that was relevant to my story. For example, there's different classes, there's different types of magic, and so the type of magic is pretty relevant. In just the main character's profile, I have 6 pages, 2,005 words. Nothing crazy. That's including prompts. Some of the prompts have not even been written into, which is wild to me because how do I expect to know them if I didn't even fill this out? But that's the reality, is sometimes you can go off of what you've written even if the template is incomplete. It's the truth. It hurts a little bit. When I was writing these character profiles, there was a lot of inspiration for me in the backstories, what happened to them before the actual start of the book that shaped them into who they are and shaped things like their misbelief, which Abby Emmons will drill into your mind. And from there has also shaped the direction of the entire story. So once I felt like I had something to go off of, I had enough 7,000, not even 10,000 words to feel like I had some concept of the beginning, middle, and end of the story and scenes that I wanted to happen throughout this story. From there, I took the brain dump, the bare bones document, and I started piecing it into the 3-act story structure, which is one of Abby Emmons' templates. Has anybody said Abby Emmons more times in another video? I don't think so. Many of these scenes that I wanted to happen got altered slightly or significantly to fit the story beats in the 3-act story structures. And I also started a starring system, so at the top of each story beat I have 5 stars if I was satisfied with the level that particular story beat was going to. So if I look back now, which I'm not going to, because I guarantee there are things that I would absolutely change. At the time that I wrote this, I was happy enough with it that I was willing to move on to scene cards. I'll give you a glimpse into what that looks like. So this is the 3-act story structure template filled in. You'll also see some highlights. Those highlights are things that have made it to the scene cards. There's a lot less included in my scene cards in some story beats versus the brain dump document. So you can see that there's parts that I didn't like and I didn't include it, and that's fine. This document has 45 pages. It's single spaced. The word count is 21,184. When I was writing this 3-act story structure, filling out the template, getting it to a level that I was satisfied with, which satisfied with at the time. I'm not going to say I'm happy with it right now. It is what it is. We're fine. We're fine. We're writing. We're writing. We're getting it done. Let's say this is in August 2023. I'm finishing these off. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do for September and October? I'm going to just write scene cards. And I'm going to have all my scene cards done. And then all I have to do is write the manuscript. And I've got 21,000 words. All I'm going to have to do is copy and paste it into this scene card template, and then it'll be done. Wrong. I also used in the scene cards templates, also Abby Emmons, also linked below, not mine, her video. Cool. Initially, the scene card template overwhelmed me, which is hilarious because it is the most, like, one of the most basic templates there is, which, you know, if you think about it, it can be more overwhelming to have more of a blank page because you're supposed to fill it instead of the prompt filling it. So I take that back. It's not hilarious. It's very reasonable. So initially, the scene cards was very overwhelming because I thought that I was supposed to include things like transitions from like when they go from one place to the next, or like if they're walking down the hall, but then like the next scene technically has a different kind of outcome, then you would think, do I need a scene for the hallway experience of them walking down a hall and what they see?
Or do I include that in the end of the scene, but technically the scene cut here because that's when the decision was made that moved the plot along?
You don't have to do the hallway transition, okay? Do the main things. When you're writing the manuscript, you will fill in the blanks, or you'll just write TK and then you're gonna have to fill in the blanks when you're editing, and that's fine too. That's fine too. It's fine. So with my scene card templates, this is where we are now. I am writing a manuscript and I am writing scene cards. I didn't make it before NaNoWriMo. I didn't finish all my scene cards. I finished the scene cards for the first act before NaNoWriMo in 2023. In NaNoWriMo 2023, I ended up actually writing 63,000 words in my manuscript. I did it. I did NaNoWriMo successfully. Thank you. brings us to the present, okay? NaNoWriMo, I wrote that much. Then since NaNoWriMo 2023, I've been writing. I finished the scene cards up until the game-changing midpoint. I think as well as the game-changing midpoint, I've been writing in my manuscript. So I've been kind of lighting the way a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's something that Abby Emmons literally says in a podcast. And I just light the way a little bit, and then I catch up with the manuscript, and then I light the way a little bit and catch up with the manuscript. So in this scene card document right now, I have 102 pages. To be fair, I use page breaks at the end of each scene and starting the next. I don't know, it's cleaner. Word count. I have 45,609 words in this document. That includes the prompts. 1, 2, 3. Am I really gonna count this right now? No. Here you go. Editing Jenny. That's how many words the prompts are. So you can subtract that per scene. So that's that, and then that's how many words I've actually written. Wow, I just made so much more work for myself. This is the scene card document. The highlights are the things that were used. The non-highlights are the things that I left out. This got a lot more specific when it came to highlights and non-highlights. You could do it that way, you don't have to. Is it slightly more work? Probably. So yeah, so that was scene cards. I have written up until the game-changing midpoint. I've written essentially Act 2 in scene cards. I'm actually catching up in my manuscript to the end of my scene cards at this point. So I'm probably going to switch to scene cards soon to finish my scene card document before I finish my manuscript. This is where I think I'm going to scare you a little bit, but it's probably more indicative of me being a level 2 writer than you being not able to write or not writing enough. When I started writing the manuscript, it was in NaNoWriMo. It was phenomenal. I think I wrote 63,000 words. I was very proud of myself. It was like 63,003. Like, it was fantastic. My manuscript, really fun to say. So my total current word count in my manuscript is 112,614 words. 265 pages, almost single spaced. I don't know why I don't write double spaced. Maybe I should, but I'm gonna end up changing it once it's done and I print it out to edit it, because I 100% plan on printing it out and having the first ever draft forever, mostly to laugh at myself and how horrible it is. It's great, like it's great, but it's bad. It's good. So that's all well and good. That's where we're standing. That's where we're at right now. Oh my, can't say that. I also have a chapter summary template. Used. I used Abby Emmons' resources. Chapter summary cards, I think she calls it. I have chapters written for 35 chapters. I'm on chapter 22. We're getting there. Whether it'll actually be 35, we don't know. In the chapter summary card template, my word count is 33. That's the characters. I have 6,129. Much more reasonable. It's just quick, poppy chapter summaries. So I ended up using that a lot more than I thought I would. So across all of those documents, this is the word count that I'm working with. It's a lot of writing, in my opinion, as somebody who is a level one writer, maybe level 2. Yup. That's how I brainstormed and outlined my first novel that is currently still being written. I know that there are many, many, many more ways to outline your novel. This is the way that I discovered writing as a hobby. I'm not going to stop now. Will I potentially try a different way to outline a novel in the future? Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned because I'm likely to film a video about my regrets in how I outlined my first novel or how I approached NaNoWriMo the first time. Subscribe, I guess, and take that notification bell. Okay, so yeah, and stay tuned because those kinds of videos are coming up. If I could do it, you could do it, all right?